Hello everyone, this is JW Vincent, and welcome back to the year in gaming. That's not right, we're playing Final Fantasy II to completion. That's LPFFTC, for those who haven't already caught on to the acronym yet. Guys, let me tell you about something. We had a conversation last episode. We talked about a lot. Mostly religion, though. Wasn't that interesting? Wasn't that a treat? I don't get that all the time. And I guess if you do get that all the time, it's because you seek it out. And that's perfectly fine. You seek out whatever you want while you're on the interwebs, on your social media platforms, on your mediums for entertainment. You seek out whatever you want. Hey, ain't no skin off my back if you find something really good and enjoy it. I mean, if you enjoy it more than me, that's skin off my back. But otherwise, you do you, man. You do you. Hey, check it out, guys. We have more than 50,000 gil, and you know what that means? That means I just reminded myself that I've been saying gold instead of gil like an idiot. But it also means we can go buy ourselves another elixir or two. Can we buy two? I wasn't paying attention. A couple episodes ago, probably, it was either the first grinding episode or was the episode right before the grinding episode, whichever it was. I complained about how I hadn't experienced the, yeah, I could only buy one. I hadn't experienced the full breadth of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 as a result of, or not 2, just Final Fantasy 1. I'd like to experience the full breadth of Final Fantasy 2 as well. I'm not, as much as I talk about not liking this game, I'm not one to just say, that game was absolutely no good, I will never play it again. I'll probably revisit Final Fantasy 2, but in an updated format. I want to play back through 1 and 2 and experience the bonus dungeon aspect. And actually, last night, while I was at my mother-in-law's house, we reached a point where we were so sick of playing on her subpar internet that we all got off our computers and we just sat around watching TV. And I said, TV's nice, but I'd rather be playing a video game. So I whipped out my phone and I booted up Final Fantasy 1. And it was a treat. Oh. Okay, we have to kill the captain. And then what we have to do is kill the two sorcerers back in the back and the one sorcerer in the middle. And once we do that, we'll be set. But I started playing Final Fantasy 1 on my phone, and I'm really enjoying it. I like Final Fantasy 1. I haven't made it, which you already know. You already know that I think Final Fantasy 1 is just the best. But I haven't made it to the end game by any means. Like, I'm still grinding in the early game. I just beat Astos. All of that said, I don't know why I brought it up at all. Except to say, I am planning on revisiting Final Fantasy 1 and 2 again in the future. Probably after I've beat at least 1 through 6. Maybe once I've even beat 7. No. We need this. We need this. We need this. We need this. And then we need him to attack that. There we go. That's how this is going to work. And again, we've set up our grinding platform. We will grind for the next 25 minutes or so. And then I'll say, okay, we're done. And then I'll say, oh, well, this is Friday. Today's Friday. So now I have to start recording the Pandemonium sequence for next week. And then I'll get really sad. But I'm not doing that today. I'm not doing that today. Actually, today I'm going to be, Today, this is my last episode I'm recording. This is Wednesday, the week before this video goes live. So, there you have it. But I'll actually be... I need to unequip his Venom axes for the moment so that he can fight without killing anyone. What was I freaking saying? Oof, that was unexpected. I'll be. This is the end of today's recording sessions. My wife is pulling up articles at school right now. Once she's done with that, I'll be getting dinner ready, basically. That'll basically be what's happening after that. But in the meantime, I've got this grinding episode to record. Tomorrow, I'm going to have to record at least 2 videos of Banjo-Kazooie, so I can get Friday's The Year in Gaming, and then Monday's The Year in Gaming. This Monday, like the previous Monday of this episode, the upcoming Monday of this recording. Is that confusing enough for you? Would you like it to be more confusing? I can arrange that. Yeah. That's it, guys. This is the end of the grind session. This is episode 4 of grinding, which means we're done. No more extensive religious talks. No more extensive talk about RPG leveling up mechanics. No more whatever that other thing I've talked about previously was. No more of any of that. After today, it's pure progress. I'm sure you can't wait for that, right? If you're anything like me, you are ecstatic about pure progress because it means that after today, there's a chance, there's an ever-increasing chance that the next episode will be the start of Final Fantasy III. On that note, here's a topic separate from Final Fantasy. Like I said, tomorrow I've got to record 2 episodes of Banjo-Kazooie, and that'll get me through my first week on the Year in Gaming of Banjo-Kazooie and into my second week. But anyone familiar with my work on the Year in Gaming knows that I only record 2 weeks worth of gameplay, if that. And that means that after this video goes live, I'll be done playing Banjo-Kazooie on the Year in Gaming. So here's the thing. Do we want to continue playing Banjo-Kazooie on this channel? Obviously the answer is yes. Obviously. I don't even know why I'm asking, quite honestly. Because I'm stupid. Because I have no contextual knowledge. It looks like Banjo-Kazooie's actually gotten quite a few views, especially compared to some other the Year in Gaming videos I've done, and that's a treat for me. Like, yes! My favorite game I've played is also the favorite of my audience. That's good. That's good. I really wish she could blind Leon so that I could feel a little more confident in my... I need to cast Shield again. In my re-equipping of the axes. I've not re-equipped the axes yet because I'm afraid of what the end result might be. Did that shield everyone? It doesn't matter if it shielded Maria, really. Dadgum. I don't know what level his shell is. I don't think any of his spells have leveled up in the last 2 or 3 sessions, actually. Which is admittedly a bit disappointing. Okay. Their magic defense has skyrocketed, though. There's no doubt about that. And in fact, Leon's magic defense ought to be massive at this point. Yeah, Shell, Shield, Blink, they're all the same level they were when we started. That sucks. I think I've done enough grinding on their defenses that I can do this safely. We'll find out as soon as he 10-hit crits and kills Gus in 1 blow. He's done upwards of 1,000 damage before. He might be able to do it. He's not done it to an ally. I don't think any monster has as much defense as the player characters do, except for when they're designed to be immune to physical damage. And then I'll throw a fit. I will, man. I hate those things. I absolutely despise when random enemies have better defenses than my characters do. I'd really like it if you could level Blink up, please. Thank you. Thank you. So kind. So kind of you to level up your Blink. Oh! What do you mean there hasn't been any game audio this whole time? We're 10 minutes in and there's been plenty of game audio. What are you talking about? Whoops. My bad, guys. My bad. I mute that during my opening sequence so that you don't hear the game audio. You still hear my mic, and I try not to make too much noise. I just haven't set up a hotkey to disable my mic, basically, is the problem there. He still is not blinded. And it's going to become a problem if it keeps up. It's because his magic defense is super high right now. It's going to be really hard to blind him. Oh! Oh, look at that. Oh. Well, look at that. As soon as I say it's going to be really hard to blind him, and I don't need to rely too much on my auto attacks until he's blind, he gets blinded, and he still does bukus of auto attack damage. This might be a short grind, guys. Nah, I can heal a little bit. Crap. I always do that. I always mess up. I'm trying to figure out what exactly I want to do. I can't seem to make up my mind. I should have him attacking either himself or Gus instead of Furion. Furion's got the most health on the team. And probably with the exception of Gus, who's carrying a shield, the best defense on the team. I think shields raise evasion, which, don't get me started on how little sense that makes. Unless you count deflecting a blow as evasion, which I guess you could, but in that case, yeah, shields definitely raise evasion. Let's cast Isuna on him. Let's have him attack Gus. It should just about do us. Oof. I am ready to sit, guys. After standing for like hours on end, I'm ready to sit. Because I don't sit down between recordings. I go and I turn on all the air conditioning in the house first. Anything that could cool the house off, I turn that on. Because I need the house as cool as possible when I record, so that I can record longer without losing that nice temperature. My house is fairly well insulated, except for the two huge windows, which I use to provide myself with good lighting. The problem with that is that I also get all that heat in here, and the heat sucks. But yeah, so I'm standing when I do that, then I just stand around. I do a bit of cleaning, which requires me to walk, and I watch some YouTube videos, but I'll like watch YouTube videos while I wash dishes or something, so I'm still active. Despite my abdominal girth, I'm a fairly active person. I'm not like extremely active. This comes from too much sugar and bread in my diet. I recognize it fully. My wife points it out all the time. If I cut out bread and sugars, I'd probably be as thin as she is. She's quite thin. But I don't. I like bread, and I like sugar. And I'm not obese. I don't think I'm in danger of any health conditions either. Like, my family's got a fairly healthy background, and I don't overindulge in sugars, so I think I'm okay. You never know. You never really can tell with that kind of stuff, though. I'm just having him cast Blink over and over because I want that level 5 Blink before I do this final boss. I like the way that the spells level up, but I also like the idea that I could just buy higher level spells in other games. And I will probably always think that the job system, particularly the job system that Tactics uses, is the best. Like, I really, really like the idea that I can grind one character, like, forever until I get just the skills I need from that class. And I don't have to get any other skills from that class. I can just get those skills. And then I can move on with my life. If that makes sense. I also really like the combination class system that Tactics uses. And I think all of the job systems in Final Fantasy use that, where you can, once you've mastered a certain skill, you can transfer it over to another class. So that, like, okay, for instance, the Knight is the preferred defensive class. With the exception of gimmicky defenses, like, technically the Knight is the preferred defensive class, but technically Ninja has better defenses because it evades, like, everything. But if you were going for straight defensive stats, you run the Knight. Well, Knight's all fine and dandy until you need something to go with the Knight's abilities, and then you just have to get in their face and pound on them. Not so. Take your Knight and go level him up as a White Mage, just 2 or 3 levels of White Mage, so that he gains access to 1 or 2 white magic spells that you want. Like, just looking at the list of spells that Gus has access to, you might learn Cure, Life, and Holy. And then you don't need a dedicated white mage, because you have a quintessential paladin who basically runs in and owns face with his big sword and can still heal. And if you put enough levels into white magic, he can heal pretty well. Because that might not be Tactics, that might be 5. Either Final Fantasy V or Final Fantasy Tactics also has a system where the highest stat your character has is the highest stat amongst his classes. So that, like, if you're a knight, but you've mastered the highest spirit class, or mind, I think that one uses mind, actually. But, like, I don't remember exactly what it is. Let's just say, for instance, that the Oracle is a white mage. Is, like, the ultimate white magic class, and has the highest mind growth. Well, in that scenario, what you would do is max out Oracle, and max out Knight, and just get the white magic spells that you need again. And your Knight will have huge mind stats because of the Oracle class. Here I go again, spouting hypocrisy and lies to you. I honestly don't know how that works perfectly. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That's how I remember, again, reading it and understanding it. But that may not have been Tactics. That may have been 3 or 5. All of that aside, I like that class system a lot. My real favorite is the open decision system. Like the license board in Final Fantasy X. No, the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X, the license board in Final Fantasy XII. I like those systems where your character has this kind of pre-designated spot, but in reality, Tidus can be a black mage. Vaughn can be literally anything. He is a top 3 stat. What? He is in the top 3 for every single stat in the game. So that, like, you can run him as anything, basically. By comparison, Penelo is at, like, the top of all of the defensive boards. Now, I've always looked at Penelo and said, white mage. And then I've always looked at Bosch and said, tank. But then I googled their stats and I was like, whew, did I have that wrong? Which, Bosch can still be a tank, but Penelo's a better tank, stat-wise. I think that's funny. I think that's amusing to me. And I honestly think I still made the mistake of making Penelo a white mage in my most recent run. Like, knowing all of that, I think Penelo still has the most white magic on my team. And that's another problem in that game. I don't know, like, ideally, I think fighter, black mage, white mage. You know, three character party, fighter, black mage, white mage. But then I go in and I'm like, okay, so Penelo's my white mage, one white mage, one of 2 white mages that I need for that ideal system. Balthier is obviously like my DPS, so he has to be a fighter technically. Ash is a black mage. What's her name? Fran. Fran is a black mage. And that leaves me with Vaughn and Bosch, who both seem like fighters to me. Which means I've obviously assigned someone to a role that doesn't belong to them. But the fact of the matter is, you can't make them niches like that. I mean, you can, certainly. Have at it. Do whatever you want with them, really. But you need... Penelo needs to be both tank and white mage in that instance. Like, you have to give her defensive stats, and you have to give her white magic. And then you need to run a DPS character and a black mage alongside her. Vaughn's got really good speed and attack. I think he's got the best speed. Like I said, he's in the top 3 for everything. But I think he's got the best speed in the game. In which case you need to give him that DPS role. And then you run like Ash as your black mage there. And then your other team is Bosch, Fran, and Balthier. And then you have to make a decision on, is Bosch going to be straight tank and Fran going to wield black magic and white magic? Or are you going to run Bosch as a paladin? Sorry, I can't talk and play games apparently. Or are you going to run Bosch as a paladin and let Fran do black magic and Balthier DPS? Balthier is definitely DPS, by the way. But what about Fran and Bosch? I would probably run Fran as a red mage character. Give her a ranged weapon, because you don't want her in melee, because she's a mage. But at the same time... this is stupid, by the way. Final Fantasy XII gives characters starting weapons, like all Final Fantasy games. And then you look at them and you say, oh, well, this is your niche. Wrong. Balthier and Fran both have ranged weapons as their starting weapons. So you look at them and you say, oh, clever. Well, they must be like my ranger type characters. Incorrect. Balthier and Fran have the slowest firing rate on your team. Balthier shoots his gun slower than Vaughn would, and Fran shoots her bow slower than Vaughn would. So why do they start with a bow and a gun? And the correct answer is because it fits their characters. The pirate obviously carries the gun. The nature woman obviously carries the bow. All the other characters are from, like, civilization, basically. Vaughn's a thief, but otherwise everyone's, like, decent people. So they use swords and shields. But yeah, like, that's weird. That's weird. Anyway, I have to work on my Final Fantasy XII builds before we make it to that game. And we may not do that game. I am still on the fence about moving into PlayStation 2 era games. One particular issue with PlayStation 2 era games, Final Fantasy XI. Can't play that one. It's also not technically a main series game. It has a number, but technically it's an online game and doesn't have a completely linear plot. So I don't consider it a main Final Fantasy game. You can all you want. Again, I don't say what you decide. I just ask that you join me in conversation. Blink is going to be level 5 at the end of this fight. I have decreed it! 25 minutes in. How does that make you feel? Make you feel good? Make you feel like king of the world? I can start casting Ultima on my team again, because no one's low enough to actually call this quits yet. Maybe I can even get Shield up one level. Who knows? I think Final Fantasy XII is my favorite Final Fantasy, and a lot of people say Final Fantasy XII is the worst. I'm like, what? But then I kind of get it, because Final Fantasy XII is the only Final Fantasy game that doesn't have a 2D-ish field turn-based combat system. Well, Final Fantasy 15 doesn't either, but who counts that one? I'm not saying Final Fantasy 15 is a bad game, I'm just saying, who counts that one? When you're talking about bad Final Fantasy games, you hardly ever talk about the newest one. You just don't. That's not how it works. I'm sorry, I keep meandering and talking about random garbage. We did talk about continuing Banjo-Kazooie, right? We talked about continuing Final Fantasy past Final Fantasy IX. I don't know if we're going to do that. I do own the 10 HD remake. I thought I might own 10.2 on the PS2, but I don't. I saw it. I looked at it. I thought about it. I never actually bought it. But I own the 10 and 10.2 remake. That counts for something. On PC. I need a new computer before I can record those. And I own Final Fantasy XII on the PS2. But frankly, if I get a new computer, I'm gonna record Final Fantasy X as the remastered version. I'm just gonna buy Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age and play that on my new computer too. It's the only thing that makes sense, really. Look at how good Gus's health still is. It's infuriating! We've been grinding quite a while. Quite a long grind we've had today. That's it, guys. We're done. We're gonna go ahead and kill this sergeant. We're gonna call that it for this episode. I want to see if we got any stat increases. Well, I hope we got stat increases. I'm gonna see if we got any spell level ups. Okay, Furion's Ice didn't level up. Maria's Ultima didn't level up, nor did her Blind. Why are none of my spells leveling up? Leon's X skill leveled up, though, so that's a thing. No. No, I gotta look at this. Why? Apparently it's just because it takes forever to level these spells up. Blind's close. Huh. Pan over to Leon. No magic. No magic whatsoever. Alright, well guys, thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to leave a comment down below. We had a good long discussion today. I'm sure you have something you can add to it. So go ahead and give me something else to discuss in the future. And next week, we'll set out for Pandemonium. Wait, can I still use Cure? No. It sounded like it let me, but I guess not. Alright. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and comment down below. If you didn't, leave a comment anyway. Let me know what I can improve on, and be certain to click my icon in the upper right to subscribe for more upcoming content. I upload multiple Let's Play videos daily. In fact, there's another one right there in the bottom left corner. For more on this series, be sure to check out the playlist in the bottom right corner. Have a great day.